Okay, here I'm on the Keyword Research tab and I've analysed the keywords with the information that I'm interested in. Now I've made some selections here of the data that I'm interested in. If you decide you want to collect other data, then you'll have to modify the import profile in KRA Pro accordingly. But I've analysed the keywords and I'm going to just export the file. Now it exports as a CSV file. Okay, that's now exported, so let me open it in a text editor. And this is what it looks like. The file is comma separated. There's also quotes around each of the items, and the very first line has a list of column headings. So to import this data into KRA Pro, we need to have this file open so that we can see what's going on. Let me just open up KRA Pro. Now I want to create a new keyword project, which I'm just going to call it Market Samurai, so I can keep it separate from the other diabetes databases that I've got in here. Okay, the very first time you import this data, you'll need to go over to the Import Data tab and then onto the other formats, and we're going to create an import profile. So let's just call it Market Samurai. The data separator we saw before is a comma. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to start defining the order of the data that's going to be imported. Now, we can see here that the very first item is a keyword, so the very first item here is keyword. Now, the next items, search broad, search phrase, and search exact. These are the count figures, if you like, and Market Samurai quotes these figures as the number of searches per day. So what I'm going to do over in here, I'm going to use the broad figure, and you could select count for this, or you could select 24 hours, since this is the 24-hour count for the number of searches. Now the next one is search phrase, which I'm going to ignore, so that's 1, 2, I'm going to ignore that, 3, I'm going to ignore that, 4, SEO traffic phrase, I'm going to ignore that, and traffic exact, I'm going to ignore that. So that's 5 columns that I'm going to ignore. So I'm going to put in 5 columns here to ignore. That's it. Now the next one, SEO competition. Depending on how you want to do the competition from Market Samurai, you could use SEO competition, you could use title competition, or you could use comp to title, depending on how you work. So I'm going to use SEO competition for the competition, for the competing column, and because I'm using that one, I can then ignore the next two, title competition and comp to title. So let's ignore those two. AdWords advertisers I want to include, so let's just go down to advertisers, and the next one over here, if I just scroll across a little bit, is AdWords CPC, which I want to use. So let's say CPC there, and then the rest we can ignore. So that's 1, 2, 3 more ignores at the end, and we're going to save. Okay, I'm just going to put in a note here to strip quotes and remove first line. That's just a reminder to me that when I'm importing this data, if we go back to the data and have a look, I want to strip the quotes out before I import, because that will cause KRA Pro to have a problem. And I also want to delete that first line because that's just the column data, it's not actual keyword data. So that's the import profile done. Whenever I want to import Market Samurai data now, I just go over and select that. So let's go to the import data, and we can select the Market Samurai, and you can see here we've got a reminder of the profile we've just set up. So let me just load the file, and the file is in this folder, but it's not showing because it's looking for text files. Let's just select all, diabetes analysis. Right, the reminder here, strip quotes and remove first line. So let's just highlight that first line and delete it, and then strip quotes. Okay, now we should be able to just click add to project, and the data is in. Now depending on your KRA Pro setup, you're going to see the wrong columns here because you need to set up a profile, and we can do that by going into the setup. I'm going to create a new profile called Market Samurai. OK, and then go over to the Include Columns section, and we want count. No, we want 24 hours. That's what we did at competition. We want CPC, and we want show number of advertisers. And I'm also going to include that show ratio. I'll show you why in a minute. So let's save that option and close. And now we can select the Market Samurai, and we've now got the columns that we've requested. If I just go back to the import data, let's go back over to where Market Samurai is, and we can select that Market Samurai profile, so that now whenever we go over and import Market Samurai data, it will automatically assign this Market Samurai options profile, and there we then have this data. You can then just do the ratio column